Hi everyone, I'm Emily and this is Threads and Blooms. Today I'm going to talk about cake flowers. As a wedding florist, something that I'm often asked to provide is flowers for the wedding cake. At first, this request made me a little bit nervous because I was dealing with beautiful cakes and the idea of sticking something into them made me scared. But I've come up with a few methods that make me really confident every time that I have to add flowers to cakes now. To start, some of the flowers that I like to use when decorating cakes are roses and spray roses, carnations, mums, which are these sweet little button ones here. Today, I'm also going to be using some of these grape hyacinths. The way that I like to add flowers to a cake is with toothpicks. I think that this method is really great because it makes it so that you don't have to puncture too big of a hole into your cake, but it also makes it so that no part of the flower has to go into your cake at all. So today I'm going to do 3 different designs. I'm going to start with something that's kind of super minimalist and airy. I'm going to then do something that's a bit of an in-between design, so very in line with what I often do for weddings, a nice kind of floral focal spray. And then I'll finish it off with something that's a little more full, turning the base of this cake into a little growing garden. So let's get started first with our more minimalist design. For this one, I'm really just going to use these grape hyacinths. I'm going to attach them to the cakes using the toothpicks to actually put them right on the side of the cake so that they kind of look like they're growing up it. So as you can see, I have simply placed the toothpicks right into the stem of this mascara, and now I'm going to stick that into the cake. All right, and with that, I'm actually going to call this one done. So I just love the feel of these mascara starting right at the base of the cake so that it really looks like they're growing up the side of them. One thing that I didn't mention at the beginning was that usually when I'm doing this, I'm doing it to beautiful cakes that have been made by like true cake artists. But today, since I was just doing this for the video, I purchased a cake from the grocery store and iced it myself. So I hope that this can show you that even if you're just doing this at home, you can really jazz up a basic cake and make it look pretty beautiful. So I'm really happy with this first design. It's very in line with what I think I would want if this were my birthday cake. But the next one I'm going to do is something a little bit more full. All right, so now I have a clean cake and I'm ready to get started on the second version of the cake design. The first thing I'm going to do is decide where I want my focal to be. So this is something that I really like to be asymmetrical. Rather than placing something kind of straight on the top, I prefer to do something like what I just did with the mascara in the corner here. So I'm going to do something down here, and then depending on how I feel once that's in, I might add something delicate on the opposite upper corner just to balance it out. So I'm going to get started with the largest flower I'm going to use right in this corner, and that's probably going to be the only full-size big bloom that I use on this design. I'm going to go for one of these really beautiful toffee roses. So to use these larger flowers, what I do is cut the stem right at the base of the flower so that it has absolutely no stem left. That then gives me a spot that I can insert a toothpick and then safely place this into the cake. So I'm going to place it so that the bottom of the flower isn't actually touching the cake at all, and really it's just the toothpick that's going in. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to place that right here. And that's going to act as an anchor for the rest of the design. Then one thing that I really like to do that I didn't do with the previous cake is I like to use herbs as my greenery. I've not yet found a greenery that I feel really comfortable putting into a cake, and because greeneries typically have much thinner stems than flowers, the toothpick insertion method doesn't really work with them. So I really love to use things like bay leaves because they look a lot like the leaf of a rose, and I find you can get a really beautiful natural design. And also I love thyme because it's nice and delicate. So I'm going to add some greenery, some smaller flowers, and we'll see where things net out. So when I'm using the herbs, I literally just place them on the cake so that they look like they are coming out from the flower. Alright, so here we have our second cake design. For this one, I did decide to do a smaller accent in the upper corner, but it's really anchored by this heavier body in the bottom. Okay, so now we are ready to start our third and final cake design. With this one, I really want to kind of do a garden around the whole base of the cake. So I've left some of the flowers from the previous design in just so we can build on that. I took the piece off from the top, mended the corner to the best of my ability, and I also took out the larger rose. Since we're doing something a little more full, I want to make sure that there's still like some ebbs and flows to the design. So this will remain a heavier area, but I'll want to lighten things up through the corner and then kind of build it back up on the side. So it's going to be something that goes all the way around, and again, I'm just going to see what happens once we get started. Right, and with that, our third and final cake is complete. So with this one, we added a lot more flowers than the previous two, but I still wanted it to have a really kind of light garden feel. So to achieve that, I used some lighter elements like the muscari and the thyme, and I allowed those to come up and off the cake a bit. And I also made sure to leave some low points here and on the back side of the cake as well, so that there were some areas with a little bit more negative space where you could see through to the cake. If you have any questions about cake flowers or any thoughts yourself, I'm always looking to learn more when it comes to this aspect of floral design. So please do leave those in the comments. I am looking forward to the next video, and thank you so much for watching this one. See you next time.